The 1980 Convention on Prohibitions or Restrictions on the Use of Certain Conventional Weapons, which may be deemed to be excessively injurious or to have indiscriminate effects, also known as the Convention on Certain Conventional Weapons or CCW, is a key instrument of international humanitarian law. It consists of a framework convention and 5 annexed protocols, which contain substantive prohibitions and restrictions on certain types of weapons. Explosive remnants of war, ERW, are explosive ordnance that have been used or fired but have failed to explode as intended, unexploded ordnance, and stocks of explosive ordnance left behind on the battlefield, abandoned ordnance. Such weapons include artillery shells, mortar shells, hand grenades, submunitions, and other similar weapons. Protocol 5 on Explosive Remnants of War seeks to prevent and minimize the impact of unexploded ordnance and abandoned explosive weapons. ERW are the explosive devices that cause the greatest number of casualties. For this reason, Protocol 5 on ERW is a key instrument of international humanitarian law. The protocol recognizes the serious post-conflict humanitarian problems caused by explosive remnants of war and addresses post-conflict remedial measures of a generic nature in order to minimize the occurrence, effects, and the risk of explosive remnants of war. As such, the protocol does not regulate or prohibit a weapon. Instead, it focuses on the clearance of explosive remnants, preventative measures for the protection of civilians, technical measures to reduce the occurrence of explosive remnants, victim assistance, and includes comprehensive provisions on cooperation and assistance. Protocol 5 obliges high contracting parties to take steps to minimize the threat posed by explosive remnants of war. Once hostilities cease, high contracting parties are required to mark and clear their own territories of explosive remnants. They must take all practical precautions, which include issuing warnings, implementing risk education programs, marking hazardous areas, erecting fences, and supervising affected territories. High contracting parties must also record and retain data on explosive ordnance used by their armed forces. After hostilities cease, they must share this information with the party in control of the affected area, as well as with organisations engaged in the clearance of explosive remnants of war or in risk education programs. High contracting parties not directly involved in hostilities must, if in a position to do so, provide assistance in the marking and clearance of explosive remnants of war, engage in risk education activities, and provide assistance for the care, rehabilitation, and socio-economic reintegration of victims affected by explosive remnants of war. Protocol 5 is an important instrument of international humanitarian law due to its far-reaching and innovative provisions. The protocol introduces novel measures that enhance the responsibilities of high contracting parties to facilitate post-conflict recovery following the cessation of hostilities. As such, Protocol 5 sets the standard in addressing the humanitarian impact of explosive remnants of war. Since its adoption in 2003, Protocol 5 has helped to address the humanitarian problems caused by unexploded and abandoned ordnance after the cessation of hostilities, in the context of both international and non-international armed conflicts. Due to its comprehensive scope and applicability to all explosive remnants of war, it helps to ensure the highest protection of civilians and combatants from indiscriminate weapons and unnecessary suffering.